Hi everyone, this is Tommy from Table Flip Games and welcoming you to our second issue of the Cacheville Overflow. We've just launched Surefooting version 1.0.2 on Steam this week. We've been hard at work on bug fixes, polish, balance tweaks and new content for this build. So I'm going to walk you through some of the changes we've made and bits of polish we've added. Plus, this month sees us opening up our team's Discord server to the wider world, so if you want to see what's happening in Surefooting's development more frequently, or just hang out and chat, you can do that too, and I'll tell you more about that at the end of the video. So let's talk big features for this version. Our goal was to improve the accessibility of our game, as well as add in some small improvements and extra stuff hot off the Steam launch. So let's talk the two major additions, the changes to game difficulty as well as control schemes. Surefooting launched with 4 running paces, our term for the unique configuration of gameplay variables that make a particular difficulty setting. Each running pace is designed to manipulate how fast players are moving, the challenges presented by the level generator, and the aggressiveness of Deletion Dave and Ramrafster. We have opened this up for players and have expanded the running pace count to 6, with a new pace, Walker, that is much slower and less demanding, as well as Runner, which helps bridge the gap between Jogger and Sprinter. Plus, we've added new online leaderboards for both running paces. Players can change this running pace in the options screen like you see here. Our goal for this is to enable Surefooting to be accessible to a variety of players. Perhaps the fast-paced nature of some of the gameplay is just too much for you. That's cool, you can turn it down. But also if you feel it's not challenging enough, then you can crank it up. In addition, none of the unlocked challenges for store items are influenced by the selected running pace. This is critical for us. You can complete challenges and unlock items at your own pace, and we don't want to force you to play the game at a particular level just so you can unlock a specific power-up or costume. But perhaps you're wanting even more control over those running pace settings. Well, let's look at the new custom running pace setup. Starting in this build, players can build their own custom running pace and decide on the intensity of 4 parts of the game. The running pace of the players themselves, the intensity of the level generation system, the aggressiveness of Deletion Dave, and lastly Ramrafster's attack frequency. So perhaps you want to play the game at top speed with Dave hot on your tail across easy geometry? No problem. What about never having to deal with Ramrafster because that's a bit too much for you? Turn down the Ramrafster setting to its lowest point. What about playing much harder geometry on a slower pace? You can do that too. Each setting is reflective of how that feature works on an existing running pace, so you get a feel for how your custom setup lines up with our pre-built running pace settings. This is just the first phase of custom running pace settings we're providing, and we're happy to hear feedback from players on how it can be improved or expanded upon in future. In conjunction with this, we've built a new feature to allow for Surefooting to be played entirely with one hand on one side of a controller. We're aware that sometimes holding a controller with both hands can be demanding for some players, so let's change that up. We now have 3 default settings: Standard, which has some controls mapped to both sides of the pad, followed by Lefty and Righty. Left hand only maps the face buttons to the D-pad, and right hand mode maps the left stick to the right stick. In each case we do lose some real-time control, such as changing camera angles and tabbing through the options screen. However, we're looking into alternative means to resolve that in future updates. In addition, right now our user interface is not updated entirely to reflect the changes made to control schemes. We're aiming to do that also in a future update. This is far from a complete list of features, and we want to improve it and we want to get it right. So hearing from players about their experiences and how we can improve these features is vital. But of course, it isn't all just gameplay. Sometimes you feel like you just need to freshen up your wardrobe. With that in mind, we've added 5 new costumes for each character, adding a total of 20 new outfits to the game. This includes new dance outfits, business attire, and making your way in the world of action news. We've also spent some extra time polishing up parts of the user interface to run a little more smoothly and to make it easier to get in and move around parts of the game. The biggest addition is the ability to change some gameplay options whilst you're running. If you head into the pause screen, you can now find the options screen is available to you. There are some changes you can't make during gameplay, such as video resolution settings and the like, as well as the in-game running pace, but of course you can still do that over in the main menu. On top of all this, we've made a ton of bug fixes and improvements that help the game run faster and smoother than before. Listing all of the changes we've made is a bit boring, but you can read the full listing over on our announcements page on Steam and itch.io. And that's it for this month. Let us know what you think of the new build in the comments, spread the word and get your friends playing Surefooting. To keep up to date on all things Surefooting as well as when they happen, keep an eye right here on our YouTube channel, our store pages, as well as on Twitter and Facebook, and of course in our new Discord server. The link to our Discord server can be found in the description below. By all means, get inside, come and have a chat with us and let us know what you think of the game thus far. Thanks for watching, best of luck out there, and don't forget to keep running.